Hello everyone, this video is not sponsored. I bought this Sembo brand car from their Famous Car Technic line off barweir.com for approximately $17 US shipped, and it comes with 328 pieces. It's obviously based off the Hoonitron Electricana one-off car that was driven by the late Ken Block, but this is not officially a licensed design, so there's no Audi license here, and there's no Hoonigan license here either. The size of it is very familiar. So you've got approximately an 8-stud wide size overall. Just at the fenders is actually a little bit more than 8 studs. But if this looks familiar to you, well, here's the Lego version, and I'll be comparing these a little bit later on as well, a little bit more directly, and probably do a separate video just covering that. But in this video here, I wanted to specifically focus on this because I like Sembo's cars. I've tried a handful of them now, and I think that they've got a really good thing going for them. This one is not as complex as the nicest ones that I've done as far as how it goes together, but it does go together nicely, and it has a very 3D shape. They were not quite successful at capturing the gap between the splitter and the front lower wing element. So this thing has some weird, very concept style of arrow on it. Not all of it is entirely functional, but it looks cool. But look at how much depression there is for the hood area, the bonnet area. Again, it's an electric car, so it doesn't really care about like engine placements and stuff like that. They've also got this great depression right down the roof that shows the arrow, and that actually exists on the real car as well, with the arrow channel going down through there with kind of the B-pillar spoiler, kind of the hatch top spoiler wing thing. It's definitely exaggerated here, and the height of the roof area is definitely too thick, but I do appreciate that they tried to get those shapes approximated here. What they didn't do so well is the inward curvature. This actually has inward curvature for the sides of the wing end plates here. They should curve in. Just the shaping there isn't quite right, but it still looks good, and I definitely appreciate a lot of the things that they did attempt to get either in full 3D or at least getting kind of roughed in shapes of it. I also definitely appreciate the use of especially molded wheel inserts there, which show the brake cooling extractors, those arrow dish style. And that's all the way around. However, unfortunately, they did not get any print onto those. As far as prints are concerned, there are very few of them on this set. There are a few, but most of the decorations that you're seeing right now are done, I have to admit, with stickers. And there are a lot of stickers. I will show you the 2 sticker sheets. But look at this angle here. Look at just how low that is to the ground with the side skirts there. That is, I mean, it's almost touching the ground, but it's not actually touching the ground, but it's so close. And that's just so impressive to me. I've never seen anybody manage to get that close, and they're able to do that easily by using inverted half plate thick tiles. And it also helps that they've got just the right thickness of tire, just the right depth of tire. But it's just half plate thickness tiles, or inverted tiles all the way throughout the underside of this, which makes it very smooth, and also helps things to stay together with just the layer above, and helps the entire build to be able to be that low. It's not quite as low at the front though. I hadn't realized that until I started looking at it from this particular angle. But yeah, it's a good look. It has a nice profile. I don't like this little bit right here. It does stick up just a little bit too much. I think they could have actually done this with just a tile instead. Didn't need the whole little hoop there. And that's just a decision that they made. But from some of these front angles, and especially low, you can start to see the absolute worst thing about this set. If you look carefully, I'll go ahead and point it out to you. The stickers, in some areas where they need to bend a lot, have actually bent back, have actually flattened themselves out. See? And that's because the top layer of the stickers, it's like a laminated system. The top layer is just too stiff. At least it's too stiff for the adhesive that they use. So there are 2 things that they could have done to fix that. 1, use stronger adhesive, or 2, use a softer top layer, the shiny layer on top, to allow it to bend more and then hold that bend. Now I can fix that by adding a little bit of heat here, getting them down to where they need to be, and then using a little bit of heat and making sure it stays, and then let it cool down just with like a hair dryer or a heat gun held way far away. But obviously I didn't want to try to hide a flaw from you. And thus you're seeing, like I said, just the absolute worst thing about this set. That's definitely, in the first place, a lot of people hate stickers, right? Especially if they've only ever dealt with Lego and never dealt with other types of models and things. But I personally I'm okay with stickers, but they need to stick. They need to stick right. These have approximately the right dimensions. They're not quite edge to edge, but they're pretty close. So the gaps are really not a problem, but these ones that really, really need to bend a lot are not able to do so. On a standard, a more standard, more normal, more common bend, they're able to hold that just fine, but the tightest ones, they're not. And it's just a few of those. So wanted to be sure to call that out because it's a definite negative that a lot of folks are not going to be happy about. As far as interior is concerned, there is some, but none of these are really designed to accommodate figures. So if I just pull this up, you see there is, God, that's just so unfortunate. There is a steering wheel and there is a seat, but yeah, there's no gap. So you see black behind there. There's no actual gap. So arms can't fit in there. You can put a minifigure in here who doesn't have arms. Some cars require that you have no hair. This requires no arms. So yeah, if that's important to you, there's another big strike against this one. Again, I think I'm going to do a separate video that focuses on comparing the Sembo car to the Lego version. The Lego one actually uses more prints, surprisingly. Like this right here is all a print, and also some of these smaller bits are done with prints. Like that right there is done with a gray print or just gray paint on top of a red piece, and then also these hubs are done with a very nice print. I really like that. And this also comes with a minifigure, and it's able to actually sit in there. So those are definite big positives. But ignoring that, just for the things that are common between them, these are obviously very similar superficially, though the build techniques that were used and the build approaches are very, very different between them. When it comes down to really, really small pieces, you got nicer curvature up here. Again, you got a much lower design for the whole thing here. This has the studs, as you can see on the underside. Oh yeah, the Lego one, ironically, uses a gigantic piece as its chassis, a very highly specialized piece that is designed specifically to be an 8-wide Speed Champions car chassis, and uses up so much of the space compared to this that does use a chassis piece. It didn't really need to, honestly, given that this is not going to accommodate a figure, but it just allows the seat bottom to be just a little bit lower. But most of this is built with smaller pieces on average. Again, better job with more prints over here. Stickers are smaller over here, more gaps, less of them. But, and I do like that. I do like what they did right here. It's a really nice part usage. But between the two, like as a display piece, it's really close between the two for me. This is more accurate here, but again, I would have preferred just a flat piece instead. The Lego one doesn't even try to accommodate that, and as a result, maybe it looks a little bit weird in the dome here. I think if something had been done just a little bit better to carry to have a complete A-pillar rather than having the gap in there, I think they could have gotten just a little bit more strength in this line, and then this would have looked distinctly better, especially as viewed from the side. But again, like I said, I'll do a separate video. Oops, just popped this one off. Separate video. These are a pair of pieces used for the side view mirrors that are specifically representing side view mirrors. So there's a place where they used some specialized pieces. These are prints right here compared to using some build, a little bit more building for the shaping in the front. Yeah, I personally have a definite preference for this one between the two, but this one did cost more. Did come with the figure though, but Sembo has done a good job, and it did definitely provide a unique building experience that I appreciated. And if I had never gotten this, I would still be happy to have this, and I wouldn't wish that I had gotten this instead. Like this is definitely close enough for me. If I was just a fan of this car, this does its job well. But again, the stickers are the biggest problem with it, and I'll have to put a little heat on that to fix that issue up. How many stickers are there in this Sembo set? A lot. A lot. This is one of 2 sheets. Here's the other sheet. It's very, very significant. So if you hate stickers, as I always mention, if you hate stickers and you see a set that has a ton of stickers, you don't want to buy the set, period. Just stay away from it. A lot of people, I see a lot of people just focusing on stuff that they don't like and really getting upset about it. If you don't like something, run away. This is all just hobby stuff. This is all for fun. If you see something that's not going to be fun, definitely do not buy. But I hope that me buying this was of some value to you so that you could see the video, whether you're interested in the vehicle or not, whether you like what it looks like or not, whether you prefer it or this, whether you like stickers or not. I just hope that I've brought you some value here by doing this. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all the Patreon members, Twitch subscribers, and channel members right here. And also to folks who click on my affiliate links. If you have something that you do want to buy, it helps me out a ton so that I can continue to buy more stuff and keep the lights on and keep bringing you more content. Again, thank you very much. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.